Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so exciting to have you guys joining me. I'm looking at I know you may be looking at me from different platforms, so happy to have you here. Just wanted to advise you that you can also write in the platforms. Just drop a comment in the platforms and I will see it. And I will definitely respond to any questions or comments that we will have during the sessions today. So in the meantime, make sure you have some water. Make sure you have a pen or paper near you. You don't want to miss any of these gems, any of these gems that I'm going to drop today. So please be organized and get stuff. I just have a few tech things to make sure we're all set up to go. But we will start in less than 2 minutes. Thank you. All right. So, beautiful people. Thank you so much for being here with me today. We are streaming live on several platforms right now. So, whether you're joining me from LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, or even Instagram, I am so grateful that you showed up here today. Today's session is going to be powerful. I've poured a lot of intention and preparation into this masterclass because if you are giving me your time, I want to make sure you leave with real tools, clarity, and action steps to help you move forward in this new phase of your life. So if you haven't already done so, grab a pen and a paper because we will be doing exercises together live right here today. Don't wait for later. As my precious son Ethan loves to say, when I say to him, let's do this later, now is later, mommy. So if you already here, make it count. I'll give you a minute to get yourself settled. And while we wait for everyone to settle in, do type in the chat, what is one transition you are currently navigating that's making you feel a little stuck? Let's start this conversation honestly. So again, while we wait for people to come in and get themselves settled in, let's drop in the chat what is one transition that you are navigating today. All right, I'm seeing those comments coming in. Thank you for sharing. Some people are writing, hey, I just got laid off. Some people are saying, I am just feeling stuck. I don't know what to do next. Others are saying that they just decided to move to a new city or move a new country. Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right. I see another comment, navigating the hunt for a new job. Thank you. All right. So let's get started. For those of you who may not know me yet, or maybe you just stumbled on this live out of curiosity, welcome. My name is Risa Gooding, and if there's one thing I've learned is that life has a way of giving us shifts. Sometimes the kind we choose, and sometimes the kind that choose us. I was born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago, a small twin island nation in the Caribbean. But for nearly 20 years, I've been living in Israel with a short stint in Ireland in between. Each move for me came with its own set of challenges. Imagine landing in a new country where you don't speak the language and you don't have a network, and you have to figure out how to build your professional identity from scratch. That was me, more than once. In the midst of all that growth, I also went through a divorce, and once again, I had to start over. But then with the help of my partner at the time, I started a digital marketing agency, and we grew it into one of the top agencies in Israel. But after 5 intense years, my soul was whispering that it was time for another shift. So I stepped away from entrepreneurship, returned to corporate life, and moved to Ireland for a new opportunity. And then another unexpected turn. 3 years later, I was laid off. Suddenly, the structure I had built was gone. And I was forced with the same question many of you might be asking right now. What next? Over the last 9 months, I've been traveling through Asia with my family, rebuilding, reflecting, and realigning my life brick by brick. So when I say I get it, I really, really mean it. I know the fear, I know the doubt, I know that heavy feeling in your chest when you don't know what comes next. So this is not theory for me. This isn't motivational fluff, but it's coming from lived experience. And today I'm here to share with you the exact steps I have taken and I'm still taking to rebuild my life with more clarity, alignment, and freedom than ever before. Because every time life knocked me down, I rebuilt, stronger, freer, and more myself. And that's what I want for you too today. To see that this moment and this uncomfortable, uncertain, messy season is actually your biggest opportunity yet. It is a chance to bring your gifts to the world and build a life that feels true to you. So if you're ready for a shift and you are ready to shift your life, ready to turn this transition into your transformation, drop a yes in the chat right now. Let's be the change we want to see in the world together. So over the past few weeks, I've had dozens of calls with very many people from all around the world. And I keep hearing the same 3 struggles keep coming up again and again and again. First, you have the fear of leaving the 9-to-5 identity. Many people are still craving the comfort of a paycheck, even though it might be unfulfilling, and more so with the changes we have in AI, that there's no guarantee that they will get that check. They are attached to that idea. And it mainly comes because they've spent years building a professional identity, whether it's manager, whether it's an engineer, whether you've been a teacher. It feels like letting it go feels like losing themselves. Another setback or challenge I hear people describe is that they don't believe their skills are monetizable. I hear this all the time. Risa, I don't have anything special. But what feels ordinary to you is extraordinary to someone who needs that exact wisdom. So sometimes all it takes is for us to understand that we need to share any knowledge we have, because there's always someone who does not know what we know and what we take for granted. The third problem that most people share with me is, Risa, I don't know where or how to start. Even if you feel the call to do something different, the how is what keeps you stuck. You overthink the niche, the website, the logo, instead of taking the first aligned step. These three fears is what keeps brilliant people stuck in confusion, scarcity, and self-doubt. So if you felt any of these, you are not alone. I have felt every one of those emotions before each big shift in my life. The fear, the confusion, the questioning. The key, though, was I did not let them hold me hostage. Instead, I created and used my shift framework that helped me move from fear and confusion to clarity, confidence, and cash flow. And this is what I am here to share with you today. So let's get started in understanding how the shift framework can help you today. First, let's look at the S. The S in this framework talks about shedding the old identity. Because before you can move forward, you have to release who you used to be. This does not mean forgetting about your past, but it means that it's time for you to recognize that losing a job or a title does not mean that you've lost your worth. It just means your chapter is changing. So in that pen and paper that you have with you right now, I want you to take a minute and write down one title you've carried, and then one truth about who you are beyond that title. So think again about one title you've carried, and then one truth you are beyond that title. If I think of myself in this regard, I was known as this HubSpot guru for a very long time in Israel. I've spent like over 10 years building that persona. Everything I built was just around that. And I had to learn that today I could be more than that. I am not just my HubSpot guru. I can do many other things with my skills. And now I'm transferring those skills to other places. All right. Moving on, let's look at the H in shift. H here represents the opportunity to honor your experience. This is where we shift from I have nothing special to my experience has value. And this could be anything. So at this point, again, I want you to write down 3 challenges you've overcome and what those experiences have taught you. Because that list, that's your wisdom library. So right now, take a chance in that same paper to write down 3 challenges you've overcome and what they have taught you. When I speak to people and I understand, I do this exercise with them, I'm always amazed at what comes out of this. So take some time to really deep dive into things that you've overcome. It could be simply that you moved to a new country. It could be that you suddenly learned how to be a better single parent. It could be that you allowed yourself to learn how to budget better so you can know how to cope when you became a single parent. So any skill that you've done or anything that you found yourself doing in the last years, whether it's personally, professionally, it's still something that has helped you to overcome and be here and be where you are today. All right. Moving on to the I. Let's look at imagining a new path for yourself. Because when you've been in survival mode for too long, dreaming can feel unsafe sometimes. But permission to dream again is where your new direction begins. So, in this exercise, I want you to close your eyes for 30 seconds and just imagine what life would look like 1 year from now when you're earning from your own story and skills. Just close your eyes and see where you would be 1 year from now, earning from your own stories and skill. Think about who you're working with, what are you creating, and just how does it feel? Do you see yourself helping others and seeing how receptive your gifts are to others who needed the skills that you have? Feel yourself enjoying and receiving that abundance of income and revenue that will help you thrive in your life because of this exchange. That, my friends, is your future cast. This is the first vision of what's possible. The F in our shift framework represents the ability to focus on your gifts. Now we take what's in your story and we connect it to a tangible offer. So your next exercise is to write down one thing people already come to you for help with. That's a clue to your monetizable gift. It could be, I have a good friend who everyone comes to her to understand, how do I eat better? How could I eat cleaner so I feel better about myself and I feel healthier? So there's always something we do very well, even unconsciously sometimes, that people want our skills and our advice upon. So think about anything you're doing that comes naturally to you and people come to you for advice for. And the last item in our shift framework is about T, taking bold action. Guys, let me tell you a truth today. Confidence doesn't come first. Action does. You have to do in order to gain that confidence in what you do. Fear will not disappear. Never will it be okay to do what you do every day. But you have to move anyway. Do you think me showing up here live with you today is easy? No, I do have my fears and I do have my doubts about it, but I show up anyway. And I plan to show up every single month for the next 12 months because this is what gets me to be better and gets me to get this message out to so many of you who are feeling stuck in your life right now. So in our exercise today, I want you to choose one bold move energy step that you will take in the next 48 hours, not next year, not next month, not in 2 weeks. In 48 hours, you have to decide on something that you will do. Maybe it's posting a story online. Maybe it's calling a client that you think you can offer something to. Maybe it's just simply offering a clarity call or something to your audience. Or maybe it's just working on your first offer, like outlining what you think you can give. So whatever that is, I want you to commit to taking bold action in the next 48 hours, because action and success only comes from us doing something. So write down something you think you can take action within in the next 48 hours. All right. So I want to actually spend some time showing you how this can work in real life, because I know some of you are sitting there thinking, okay, Risa, this all sounds well and nice, but this is not something I can do. So let me show you exactly how this has worked for some people I've worked with so far. First, I had a client who has worked for over 20 years with the Red Cross as a logistics manager. After recent funding cuts, he lost his job and he was feeling so frustrated. He was unsure about what to do next. And I worked with him, showing him how he can apply that shift framework. And in that process, we realized that his skills were incredibly valuable to both the private sector and the philanthropic world. He understood how to allocate resources efficiently, manage crises, ensure operations ran smoothly. And these are all skills that he could translate perfectly into an operations manager role for a startup or a scaling company. But we didn't stop there, because he still loved the nonprofit space. So I showed him how he could become a broker between private donors and NGOs. He can ensure that the funds that are being donated are used effectively, reducing waste and maximizing impact, and making sure that there's accountability from both the recipient side and the donor side. So now, instead of waiting for his next job posting, he has begun offering these services directly to private foundations worldwide. He is now turning decades of experience into a boutique, purpose-driven consultancy. And that's what's possible when you imagine a new future. I have another client as well who also came from the corporate world. She's a brilliant talent acquisition specialist with a deep love for art. She never thought she could make money from her passion. She's like, Risa, I love art, but how do I make money from this? And in the first few sessions, we were able to uncover a path for her to combine her professional skills with her creativity, curating high-end art experiences. She's now collaborating with art galleries to host exclusive events featuring artists, spoken word performers, musicians, and comedians, while partnering with wineries and caterers to sponsor the experience. Her events are not only attracting high-income art lovers who not only attend, but they buy and commission artwork. So it's now turning what once felt like a hobby into a thriving business model. The point is, both of these clients started exactly where you are right now, unsure, afraid, and wondering if they had anything special to offer. This shift process showed them how they can turn their lived experience into a business they love. Because at the end of the day, your job title is not your identity, and your experience is your currency. Your story is never your shame, but it is your strategy. So guys, you've just experienced the shift framework, and you may be already feeling a spark of possibility. But really, the transformation doesn't come from one inspiring hour. It comes from consistent action, accountability, and community. And I decided that I wanted to save you from steep learning curve, as I did a lot of mistakes when I was trying to figure out what to do next. I also spent a ridiculous amount of money with different strategies and mastermind groups in order to gain the traction I needed. So today, I am offering you a chance to work with me through our 5-day shift challenge, which will help you actually understand how you can move forward and get that offer out and help monetize the skills you already have. So in just 5 days, you will be able to have a safe space where you can map out your offer and you will build confidence fast because it is going to be a very safe container. There will be no, unnecessary extra work to do. It's 5 days with an hour with me today, each day. And we will turn your story and skills into your first version of a paid offer. We will help you get clear on who it's for and the problem it's solving, and you will have the confidence to share it. This is the perfect step if you want hands-on guidance and daily micro wins. And because you're joining me live today, I'm also going to give you an exclusive bonus. Because again, I don't want you to pay $10,000 or even $97. I want you to pay what you can. So if you go to that link at the bottom of my site, Risa, on the bottom here of the screen, you will see www.risa-gooding.com/shift. You go there and you are able to pay as little as you want, even $1 if that's what is worth for you. But the goal is that whatever you pay will be able to get you access to the shift challenge that we will begin on October the 20th. So do join us. And again, what you expect and what you will get in these 5 days will be a daily live training. We will also give you workbook and community support. And the bonus that I'm actually going to give you is that the exact consultant I've worked with, a design consultant for years, she will help you get that perfect logo, perfect landing page, perfect branding that you're going to be obsessed with anyway, even though I tell you not to think about it. And she will do that for you for free. So if you join, you will be able to be selected for that experience with that brand consultant. So really, this is your moment to say yes to yourself, to your story, to your comeback, because at the end of the day, you are not starting from scratch. You have a wealth of experience that you can use. Now, at this point, I would love to take some questions from you. So if you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat. I do see some questions coming up. So let me answer a couple of them now. One question is, how do I know what skill to monetize first? Okay, that's a great question. And honestly, it's one of the most common ones I hear. But here's the truth. You don't have to figure out the perfect skill. You just have to start with the one that feels most natural to you, the one that people already come to you for advice or help with. In the shift framework, that's part of the focus on our gift stage. We take an inventory of all of your experiences, your strengths, and your story, and we look for patterns. We literally help you ask the question, what do I easily do that others find hard? Or what problem have I already solved for myself that others are struggling with? So my advice is to start there, because clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. So you have to test it. You have to put yourself out there, because once you begin sharing that one gift, the rest will unfold naturally. So just start. Another question I see in the chat is, what if I don't feel ready, Risa? All right, yeah, this is a common one for sure. And I must say, it's one that I've been there like many, many times. And the truth is, you'll never feel ready. But that's okay. Feeling unready is actually a sign that you're about to grow. In the shift framework, the moment is part of the S, which is like shedding your old identity. So it's when you're letting go of who you were, the version of you that needed uncertainty before taking action. You don't wait to be ready. You become ready through action. So every time I launch something new, which were many, if you ask my dear friend Jamila, she always tells me, Risa, how many business ideas have you launched in your lifetime? But the truth is, whether it was my agency or my consultancy or even this masterclass, I didn't wait until it was perfect. I started with what I had and I learned as I went along the way. So instead of asking, am I ready? Ask, am I willing to take the first step? Because that's where real transformation begins. Okay, a third question I'm seeing now is, Risa, what if I'm afraid of failing? The big F. Guys, unfortunately, fear of failure, that's a universal one and it's inevitable. But let me tell you something. Fear does not mean to stop. It means you are on the edge of something important. Every single time I've gone through a shift fear, I showed up first. But instead of letting it paralyze me, I learned to see it as a sign that I was growing. In the framework, this is tied to the T, taking bold action. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move with it. Here's the mindset shift. Failure isn't final, it is feedback. Again, I'm going to repeat that. Failure isn't final, it is feedback. It is data that helps you adjust, refine, and rise stronger. So the next time fear comes up, tell yourself, I must be close to something meaningful and move anyway. Let's see, any more questions? Okay, one of the question I see here, which I will tackle again, just to reinforce this point, is what if I don't know where to start? So that's exactly why I created the framework, the SHIFT framework, because it sort of gives you a roadmap. You know, it starts with that H of honoring your experience, writing down every role, project, or challenge you've navigated. And then it looks for threads. Where did you feel most alive? What came naturally? And from there, we move into the I, which is to imagine a new path. And this is where we will connect with your experience and the possibilities ahead. You don't need to see the full staircase. You just need to take the first step. And when you do, the next one will reveal itself. So this is a bit of a trust game and a belief game in yourself. All right, one last question I will take before we wrap up here is, what if people don't take me seriously? Yeah, a big one. And I used to worry about that a lot too, especially when I started my agency here in Israel and I didn't really speak the language. I'm like, will they actually listen to what I have to say? Am I the expert here? But when I talk about reinvention and freedom instead of metrics, I understood that what I've learned is that when you show up authentically and consistently, people take notice. And this is what kind of ties into the F in when I say focus on your gifts and take bold action. Because people can't trust what they cannot see. So your job isn't to convince them, it's to show up, serve, and let your results speak for you. You build credibility by showing up in truth and not perfection. All right? So I hope all of these answers and questions helped you today. But I do, again, want to stress to you that this is a great time for you to remember that whatever your question is, whether it's fear, confusion, doubt, remember this. Fear means you're shedding. Confusion means you're growing. And clarity comes through doing. Again, let me repeat that. And I will repeat it for you to see me saying it to you. Fear means that fear means that you're growing, Clarity comes through doing. So that's the rhythm of every shift. So wherever you are right now, remember that you are already on your way. So as we wrap up, I want you to remember this. You are not broken, you are not behind, and you are not starting from zero. You are starting from wisdom, from lived experience, from strength, and the shift framework is your roadmap from fear to focus, from doubt to bold action, from survival to thriving. And I want to be honored to walk beside you as you take your next step inside this 5-day shift challenge. So, again, go to the link below and sign up before October the 20th so we can help build your next offer in this world. Thank you for showing up. And now go take your first bold move. I appreciate you. Thanks for your time today. And remember, you have everything inside of you to start again.